Up next, we have Mr. Navin Taukoordass. He's coordinator at the Ministry of Gender Equality and Family Welfare, Mauritius. He currently works at Child Rehabilitation Services. Thank you for coming. Yes, please unmute it. Yeah. You need to be unmuted. The tech department, please unmute him. Yes.
Namaste, everybody. Good afternoon and good evening. I know in India it's already maybe 18, 19, I suppose. Well, I'm Navin Taukoordass from Mauritius. For those who don't know Mauritius, it is a small island in the Indian Ocean of about 1.2 million of inhabitants. And effectively, even Mauritius, we have not been saved from this pandemic. As my dear friend earlier said, we had our first COVID in March last year. And proudly in December 2020, we were saying that we are COVID-free. And not more than 2 months in February, March, we found ourselves in another lockdown. So the basic here is from the perspective of the ministry where I am, Ministry of Gender Equality and Family Welfare, where it has a main mandate to look after the development of children and for the protection of children, where actually I am from the Child Rehabilitation Services, where we have different sections doing lots of job to rehabilitate those children, like my dear colleague said, who have been placed in residential care institution, and we are working so that they can go back in their parents. And at the same time, looking to ensure that there is protection of child, and especially from last experience that we had, we've seen that effectively we had a lot of reported cases, and we are talking about technology. Mauritius, actually, we have a good internet across the island. The rate is accessible for everyone. Even the low-ladder people can access easily to internet and to information. And in fact, at the ministry, we have an integrated support center where we are working through the hotline. And I must say this has been one of technical advancement in the ministry, where it's like a platform or like an call center where we can receive at one go 4 calls, and there are people who are working on that. And the good thing is that even from home, we are able to put this on. So just to say that at least people who are in problem difficulties, they are accessing to the services through phone to the ministry. And at the perspective of the departmental professional, we have the family welfare and protection officers, psychologists, legal advisors, the support team. They are all working to help those who are in need, actually, because we are in a lockdown confinement and we are getting a lot of cases. Of course, why? Because of this isolation process, the interaction where there were small problems, they are face-to-face, getting, how do you say, interaction. And we are getting a lot of people who are calling to be counseled and to have advice, and also reporting certain cases of abuse, or whether it be from child or for family. To say that even from the experience of last year, this year, at least we were prepared, and we use all the facilities of technology and our networking between the different organizations. We have the ministry, we have the police department, even with the Minister of Health, to work together so that intervention is going on, at least the minimum business continuity is on. Of course, this is one of the aspects that when we have a disruption in the services, this lead to other problems. But from the perspective of the Ministry of Gender, at least this part is being looked after. We are looking after children who are at risk. We are at least ensuring that those children who are in residential care, because now they are confined, no activities out, so activities are being prepared to make them active there. Of course, this is one of the vulnerable groups that the ministry look after, but in general, we also now know that most of the children are inside the house because they're not allowed to leave. We know everyone, and this is the same process everywhere. Wearing the mask, like our dear colleague earlier said, is has been mandated. Everyone needs to wear the mask. But this a good thing is that the government has worked very hard to provide with regulations, policies, and came up with law very rightfully placed to see that everyone are taking care, precaution for all the sanitary exigencies that have been placed, social distancing, sanitizing hand, putting the mask, and even everyone is not allowed to move. So these are things that the government first step took very early when we went in the phase of confinement on 10 March, and still same going on. But at least there is this minimum business continuity with the economic activities going on. Because of course, when we don't have food, we don't have markets open, we don't have access to other services, this impact directly on the families. On the other hand, pressure in the family cause other internal problems. And here we must say that again, we, the government part officials, especially we have the frontliners, Ministry of Health and police officers are doing a very great job here, well, leading to us, our officers, who are able to work together to protect the children. And if we go ahead to say, well, how are we doing in this situation in Mauritius? Because of course, things does not work as we always plan. And this is a new thing that we have been experiencing. And each time moving ahead, we are confronted with other problems. Like, for example, if we have an emergency to attend, of course, we need to have the team, transport, police officers. So we are coordinating together with the main team of police, Brigade des Mineurs, to see that child abusers are not left apart and children are protected. And at the same time, we are having the court, who normally we have to present at the court, but this time the system started very earlier where we could communicate with the magistrate through email. Of course, we have certain code restrictions that we are using to ensure that law is not left apart. We are enforcing it, and we are getting results to ensure that children are protected. Children are getting services, even the family, where they are not being able to come at the office through the phone. And I must say the platform that I was mentioning earlier, Integrated Support Center, is a call free. So anyone can call, get advice, and if they need further professionals, so professionals are connected to them to support them in this difficult situation and advise them what to do. Because, you know, even those families who need to attend to work, because we are working in a roster basis, they need to attend to work to make things go on. Then we will talk about what is happening to those who have children and has Jaya just said, if there is this nuclear family, what is happening? So we are just having to adapt and rebuild ourselves mentally and also physically to see how we can move ahead. Of course, all these experiences are making us think ahead. And when we come to that question of what about work and be prepared for further epidemics, well, we need to be prepared. We don't have other choice. We'll have to live with this virus and we'll have to adapt ourselves, take all necessary precautions so that we are well and also our children does not fall into this trap of being addicted to technological smartphones, TV sets, and just don't talk because relatively, when someone is on the phone, he don't know if it's 1 hour or it's 10 hours because they are immersed here. And in this aspect, the roles of the parents become very, very crucial so that they are aware to monitor, to see, at least to come together with the children to talk. And here I will make reference of 1 hour program which we implemented a few years as a ministry about strengthening family values. And that worked very well. We went well ahead with that. But it's something that we can see that values is falling down. And if it is falling down, then you say, why? This is a time when parents have lots of time with their children, lots of time to rethink, rebuild themselves, review what went wrong in the house so that they can move further. My friend earlier talked a lot of lots of techniques which I think are very important, but at least the first thing is that parents should put it in their mind that it is vital that they monitor the child and come up with another way of life that we will be expecting further. There is no doubt the virus will stay here for long, but we at our hand, we have to take all our responsibilities to see that the developmental stage of the child are not disrupted and see how we can do. We have a lots of information, a lots of on YouTube everywhere. The technology has built up so far that every minute we can find information. But then what's the use of just taking the information and not putting it in practice? So here I will say again that we have a lot to do, of course, but at our end as a ministry, all the officers are working at our way to protect children and to ensure that the rehabilitation process that has been undertaken, well, the Convention of the Rights of the Child is here. We are working for that, but we should not forget that we have to adapt to new ways of doing things and putting ahead our goal to move further. Maybe one thing I would like to add here is all these professionals are providing lots of information. We do take best out of it. We'll say thank you to the team who have given us the opportunity from Mauritius to share a bit of how it is going on here. And hopefully, I must say again and again that the government here is working hard and hard, and we are expecting a lot. And at the same time, the inhabitants have to do their part so that we can go ahead. Thank you, everyone, and we stay blessed, all of us.